Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Saturday episode of the Degenerate Disseminators podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. We're riding solo today, guys. But yeah, took yesterday off. I don't know. These slates have been really bad. There's only one NHL game yesterday, and it's just really hard to navigate the NBA currently. With all these, rest management, blah blah blah, whatever. But we're gonna recap. I believe our last episode was for Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna recap those picks. Unfortunately, we did have a very rough day. Pacers Warriors teaser. The Pacers need overtime, but they do cover. The Warriors do not though, so we go down 1 unit there. The Capitals -1.5. We looked really solid there. You know, spent the majority of the third period being up 3-1. I thought they were gonna, get the empty netter and call it a day, but the Flyers get one in. Final score 3-2, so we miss it there, so down another unit. And then Clemson UCLA parlay, just money line. I did make that play official on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, I do have 4 picks going out for today, or yeah, today, Saturday. But I do like a lot of stuff on this UFC card. So I might, add a couple more things. If you guys aren't already following us, please check us out on Instagram at DD Sports Podcast. The links are in the descriptions, regardless of where you're watching, either on YouTube or Spotify. But anyways, yes. So Clemson, first upset of the tournament. McNeese put a beat down on them. Clemson actually did have a nice little comeback. They did make it close, but they do fall short, I believe, 2 points, 4 points. But they lost regardless. So down another 1.25 units there. And the saving grace of the day was the Oilers Jets game. I don't know the final score of that. I kind of stopped paying attention once they scored that 6-1. So we take a win there. So we avoid a shutout. We do go 1-3 on the day, down 3.25 units. As far as the month though, that does make a pretty sizable dent. We've kind of been hanging around even, you know, like we'll go like a unit into the green or like a unit under, and in the red. But that brings us for the total for the month of March. We're 22, 24, and 1. We did have that one push, and we're down 2.5 units. Not the worst, honestly. You guys have been sticking around. February we got destroyed. Same thing in January. So, trying to appreciate the little things in life. We're there, and hopefully if I play today right, we'll be straight. But yeah. So moving into Saturday, we have UFC London. We have a lot of NHL, and I think there's 14 games, and then just a couple of I forgot the name of the NBA. A couple of NBA games as well. Sorry that my screen is really bright, but I do have some stuff to go over on the screen in a second. But we're gonna start with some UFC London picks. We're starting with the prelim fight. We're looking at Marcin Tybura taking on Mick Parkin. Two heavyweights going at it. I was kind of just looking around, kind of system plays. Like I feel like we've been pretty consistent on things we've done for UFC as of late. Actually, we've been looking more like lower profile fights. We are gonna have a pick for the main event, so stick around for that. But yeah, two heavyweights. We've been taking the under on a lot of heavyweight fights as of late. Check the line for this one. The line is actually 2.5 rounds, which usually for heavyweights we do see that 1.5, which we have taken and hit. I know we hit that a couple of weeks ago, but I do see why it is this line. Marcin Tybura is wrestling heavy, and Mick Parkin did have 3 straight unanimous decision victories. Actually, sorry guys, I meant to pull up the screen already. There we go. So looking at Marcin Tybura here, definitely the more experienced guy. I believe Mick Parkin is actually favorited for this fight. Let me double check that. Yeah, so he's a -145. So nothing crazy. He has been on a tear, which we'll look at in a second. But the reason I am looking at this 2.5 here, this fight here against Janata Denise, sorry if I mispronounced that. I actually bet on this fight. I've put something stupid down on a fight before this. And I put something stupid on this fight too. Marcin Tybura to win by knockout was like a +500. I threw a few bucks on it and actually got it. So that's also kind of another reason why I looked at this. But if we look at Tybura's last 4 fights, I mean, they went under, whether he won or lost. This fight stopped going into the third. Sergey Spivak did take care of him pretty easily. He did submit Tai Tuivasa in the first, and then Tom Aspinall did knock him out in the first. Um, what I like about Tybura is that he is for heavyweight. I feel like he is a pretty complete martial artist. He has 10 wins by knockout, 7 by submission, 17 out of 26 pro fights by finish. But also one thing I'm looking at here, he has been finished 5 times in his career. Let me see how many of those were in the UFC. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 out of the 5 have come in the UFC, so relatively recent. But he is 39. He is getting up there in age. Now we're gonna look at McParkin, so I can make that point. He has 6 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, 70% finish rate in his fights. Like I said, this little streak here of 3 decision victories does kind of worry me a little bit. It is heavyweight at the end of the day. And he does have that submission win as well. Both fighters are relatively complete. Yeah, like I said, it's heavyweight. This is what I've been running. Usually, honestly, I'd have taken it under 1.5 rounds, realistically, but I'll take the gimme at plus or over the line being at 2.5, and it is plus 120. So, yeah, don't know who wins this one. My gut says to go for the younger guy, but I did like Marcin Tybura in that last fight. Like I mentioned, he did do very well against Donata Denise. So yeah, for first pick of the night, we are going under 2.5 rounds for Tybura versus Parkin. And then let me go back to full cam here. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, there we go. Next one we're looking at is the main event. Leon Edwards taking on Sean Brady. This is kind of a hard fight to call because I feel like it depends very heavily on what version of Leon we get going into this fight. I think he is a fighter that gets in his own head a lot and kind of gives up on himself a little bit, which we saw in the Bilal Muhammad. I feel like, no disrespect to Bilal Muhammad. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but he did shut down Leon 4 rounds. Leon did look good in the last round when he cut him open on the ground, but it was too little, too late. I like Sean Brady. I feel like this is going to offend some people, but I do feel like him and Bilal Muhammad do have very similar fight styles. Their gas tanks are incredible. They just wear you down. He has decent striking. He can take you down, wear you down. And I feel like the roadmap for Brady is very clear here. Just apply that pressure. I don't think Edwards really is gonna finish him. I think that Leon or the fight against Kamaru, I think that head kick was like a one-off kind of thing. I don't want to call it a fluke. It was very well calculated, but I think everyone he's fought after then kind of expects that to come. I do like Leon Edwards a lot. I do want him to win, but like I said, I think Brady and Muhammad's fight styles are just too similar, and I think Brady just outpressures him. I think the key for Brady here, don't get nervous, obviously, but I think if he takes the first, if he wins rounds 1 and 2, and can really get into Leon's head like we have seen before, I do think he is going to take this. Both fighters are kind of point fighters, so I did look at the decision line here. It's a plus 145 for Sean Brady to win by decision. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think that is going to be the case. So we're taking Sean Brady via decision for 0.5 units. And I forget if I mentioned, so I'm just going to say it again. But for the Tybura Parkin fight for the under 2.5, that is also 0.5 units as well. We're going to move into the NBA. Like I said, I might make some more stuff official for the UFC. The Tybura fight is early, so I might see if we win that. Try and double up maybe. We'll see. But moving to the NBA, very bad slate once again. A lot of people are out. However, for the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Bulls at home, they are getting a lot of people back. LeBron's coming back. Pretty much everyone that's been out is listed as a game time decision. I'm hoping they play. The reason being is that, like I mentioned, outside of the Thunder, the West is very tight right now. And the thing with this new Lakers team, I feel like they just look better and better every time, they play at full strength. So I'm sure they're aware of that. Yeah, the Bulls have been struggling. And the Lakers did just take a pretty bad loss to the Bucks. Um, I believe that was Thursday night, or was that last night? I don't remember, but either way, um, I think they look to bounce back. They are 10-point favorites, which does worry me a little bit, um, just with how things have been going in the NBA lately. So I'm looking at the first half here, and for the Lakers, they are laying 5.5 points in the first half at -120. I think they get it done, especially them being at home. I think it's gonna be a very rough environment for the Bulls to play, and I do think the Lakers need this win more than the Bulls, unfortunately. So for our one and only NBA pick, I'm going Lakers first half spread of -5.5. The Bulls have been cracking me a little bit. I've faded them a few times in the first half as of late, and they've been ruining it. But I think the Lakers get it done. So Lakers -5.5 first half spread for 1.2 units. And for the final pick of the night on the podcast here, let me go back to this screen. We're looking at the Ottawa Senators taking on the New Jersey Devils. Jersey Devils are at home. As you can see, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but very close on the money line aspect of things. Um, the Senators have been a very solid over team. As far as the Devils, nothing too crazy, which I'll get into in a second. Um, but I feel like we've kind of created this NHL system where we look at two teams very similar in standings, especially as the season gets closer and closer to ending. Um, Both teams need this win. As far as the wild card spot, the Senators hold the first one. The Canadians right below them, 3 points behind. But the Canadians have been looking pretty good. They actually just beat the Senators, which we had to pick on. Um, and then for the Devils, they do actually hold the playoff spot. Um, Sorry, I just forgot what division they were in. Give me 1 second. In the Metropolitan Division, sorry, they hold the third spot. Um, I think they're a little more safe, relatively speaking. Um, in terms of points. Let me look at the Metropolitan here. Yeah, the only team they really have to worry about is the Islanders and the Rangers. Um, but this is the thing here, guys. Um, the Rangers, I mean, they were looking pretty good, but they just dropped their last three. However, the Islanders are actually 6-3-1 in their last 10, and they are on a 3-game win streak. So if they pick up their next game and the Devils lose here, that I mean, I wouldn't count the Islanders out. I mean, I don't think they're gonna take the spot. Who knows? Um, but yeah, the standings are very tight for both of these guys right now. I feel like in these games where they both need the win really bad, we've been hitting the overs. And defensively, both of these teams aren't awesome. So we're looking at Very Bet here. Website's up here if you guys want to check them out. We've been using them for a little bit for NHL picks. Very useful tool here. Like I said, Devils haven't been too hot, 5-5. Not the best, not the worst. Uh, Ottawa, on the other hand, 7-3, are coming off two losses. Both teams are coming off losses too, so I think they are going to be you know gunning for it here. We're not really looking about the spread, so don't worry about that. Um, for the Senators, they've gone over 7 out of their last 10. They went under once and they pushed twice, so pretty solid stuff there. We can't push on this one, so do what you want with that information. And same thing here. The Devils 5-5, 50%. The thing with the Senators though, for this line of 5.5, they've gone over 5 out of the last 5 games, and the Devils have gone over 3 out of the last 5 games. So although this number, this chart here might be like, it's kind of a toss up. As of late, not really. For average goals for, we have 3.8 for the Senators here and 2.6 for the Devils. So add those two together, guys, we're way over that 5.5. And both teams are giving up about 3 goals a game. So once again, guys, we're way over that 5.5. And like I said, Senators have just been an over team. Average game total goals in the last 10, by the way. I forget. Obviously, it's the last 10. Sorry. Averaging 7.1, which is insane. Well over the line of 5.5. So pretty solid there. And then the Devils, obviously they're, it's a little closer, but margin for them here, but 5.8. But like I said, in the last 3 out of 5 games, they have gone over 5.5. So, like I said, both teams need this win. They're not the best defensively as they are both giving up over 3 goals a game. And both teams are definitely more than capable on offense. So I think this game goes over 5.5, which is a number I've just liked, period, in the NHL. So to wrap things up for the night, we are taking the over 5.5 goals for the Senators, taking on the Jersey Devils for 1.2 units. And that is going to do it for today. Nothing else to add. Like I said, just be sure to keep an eye out for us on Instagram, make any more plays official. We are going to kick it into the recap. Sean Brady via decision for 0.5 units. Under 2.5 rounds for the Marcin Tybura and Mick Parkin fight for 0.5 units. Senators Devils over 5.5 for 1.2 units. And Lakers minus 5.5 in the first half for 1.2 units. And that is going to do it for us today, guys. And we will catch you in the next one.